Coming up here on the Raiders Report, I'm going to tell you why I believe the Silver and Black could end up hiring GM candidate John Spytek to be the next general manager here of the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm Mitchell Renz. This is the Raiders Report. And if you're always looking for news and updates around the Silver and Black, make sure you're subscribed. So some of you might be going, Mitch, who is Mr. Spytek? Well, for those that do not know, the Raiders requested to interview him on January 14th. He is going to interview for the GM job. He also had 2 years as the assistant general manager down with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but he's been working in the NFL for 21 years. Buccaneers.com had this to say on John Spytek, and I wanted to be able to give you this a little bit more background information on who the person that I am saying I believe the Raiders are going to hire Spytek to be their next GM. As an assistant general manager, Spytek works closely with Buccaneers general manager Jason Litch regarding the NFL draft, key free agent acquisitions, and all other personnel decisions. Spytek oversees the day-to-day operations of the college and pro scouting department for Tampa Bay. He is responsible for administering free agency preparation and evaluating talent through the NFL and other professional football leagues. Since joining the Buccaneers in 2016, Tampa Bay has clinched 4 playoff appearances, 6 playoff victories, 3 NFC South Division titles, and a Super Bowl championship. The team's 6 playoff wins since 2016 are tied for 5th most in the NFL during that span. To look at, again, a little bit more background information on Spytek and his NFL experience, he's been working in the league since 2004. And he's bounced around a little bit, but the fact that he's been able to hold down a job in Tampa Bay since 2016, and this is an organization that does have a lot of respect for Mark Davis and has a lot of respect, for Mark himself. But for him to be able to stay for one team since 2016, almost 10 years, I think speaks volumes of how good John Spytek is. For more news and for more updates around the Raiders and that GM search, I'm telling you, nobody's going to put in the time, nobody's going to put in the effort like the Raiders Report does. If you want this team to get back to just win, baby, back to commitment to excellence, Tom Brady's doing a lot of the right things. And I think Tom Brady is the biggest reason why Spytek is going to be the next GM here. So what I decided to do is this. I decided to make a show, and I'm going to break down a lot of the reasons why Spytek to Las Vegas is loading, and where there's smoke, there's fire. So the first reason is this. The Raiders interviewed him back in 2022. A lot of the times, Mark is a guy where he falls usually into a trap. This time, he's falling into a smart decision of bringing back a guy that they already interviewed. Because if I was looking for a job in 2022, and I'm also looking for a job now, I would go back and I would revisit where I went right and where I went wrong. Mark Davis, though, the fact that he was on board for interviewing Spytek even before Tom Brady, I think for Mark is one of those things that he's like, okay, this makes me feel a little bit more safe about this decision that I might have to make. Also, I think it's a fact that you could make an argument that them not choosing Spytek during Tom Telesco, during Dave Ziegler, end up proving to be the wrong decision. And he's been wanted candidate by multiple NFL teams for multiple years now. And a lot of times I always talk about finding a young, offensive-minded head coach. I think it's also important to find a young, smart-minded guy that works free agency, draft, and has been a part of an organization, a successful organization, for a long time. John Spytek's got all of those credentials that I look for in a GM. Let's go to the next reason here. He helped to get Tom Brady to Tampa Bay. And I know a lot of times you go back and you think, I don't know if y'all remember the rumors, the speculation around Tom Brady, all the teams that he was potentially thinking about going to. One of the biggest reasons why he went to the Buccaneers was because of Spytek. And when you go back and you look at some reports, when you go look at some of the interesting things that Buccaneers beat reporters wrote, a lot of the beat reporters that had the news that Brady was going to Tampa Bay were right because of Spytek's connection with Tom Brady. Then Brady ended up winning that Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs in 2020. So you're telling me Mark Davis has got to be looking at Spytek going, so you brought in Tom Brady, you've been here for a long time, you were able to win right away, and you beat Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. That's going to get Mark's attention. And when TB12 was with Spytek, with the Buccaneers for those 3 years, they were 32-18 in the regular season, 5-2 in the postseason with a Super Bowl victory. Spytek, telling you, going to be the next GM. So here's my question. Do you want the Raiders to to hire Spytek as GM? Give me a yes. Give me a no. You're about to get hit with a YouTube ad break. While that ad is playing, I want you to scroll on down and give me your answer. I say whoever Ben Johnson wants is who I want the next GM to be. But on top of that, there is a reason why Spytek was one of the first candidates that was asked. There is a reason why all these reports out there that the Raiders are all in, are enamored with Ben Johnson, and then Spytek's name gets brought up. Relationships are very important to Tom Brady, and I promise you this, when you get done watching today's video, you're going to go, I want John Spytek to be the GM, and I think John Spytek's going to be the GM. Let's go to the next reason here. I don't know if y'all know this. Mr. Spytek was teammates with Tom Brady at Michigan. It was only 1 year, but Brady loves his Michigan alum, and Spytek's got that Michigan alum in him. So Spytek played for the Wolverines from 1999 to 2002, 1 year with Tom Brady, but it was Brady's final year with the Wolverines, a year that he was a captain, the quarterback, the big leader on that team. Also, Brady has spoke a lot about how he thought his time at Michigan helped him become the leader, helped him become the person, helped him become the football mind that he is today. Spytek literally wrote a book called A Wolverine Life, John Spytek. They have been solid friends for at least 25 plus years. So when you add friendship, when you add the teammate connection, when you add everything that Brady is looking for from an NFL, college football friendship standpoint, it's starting to look a lot more like Spytek to the Raiders. I'll get into another reason coming up here in just a moment, but I got to tell you all about our sponsor here. And if anybody is ever looking for last-minute tickets, and if you're ever looking for a good deal, Game Time has got you covered. And everything that I'm about to say about Game Time, those links are going to be in the live video. They're also going to be down in the comments and in the description of today's show. Game Time has got a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for live events easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. What I love most about using Game Time is that lowest price guarantee to any ticket, to any event, whether you're going to a football, baseball, basketball, hockey, theater event, what have you. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time today. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Raider Nation, what are you waiting for? What time is it? It's Game Time. And this has been an app that I've gotten my dad. I got my dad Mets Brewers playoff tickets. I was able to get my dad, or technically my future father-in-law, Alex's dad, tickets to a Raiders-Cowboys game. Remember that preseason game a few years ago? Was able to get tickets to that. I have used Game Time a bunch. Chug's got Adele tickets for his fiance. My point is, we use Game Time for some of the most important people in our life, and I hope that y'all know that we've been able to build a really cool relationship here on this YouTube channel. And I always say it's a lot more than a YouTube show. It's a community. So if I trust Game Time for my most important people, I hope you trust Game Time for you and your most important people as well. Let's go to the next reason here of why I think Spytek to Las Vegas is slowly loading here. That general manager interview request. It's something about the timing of it. And timing in the NFL is everything. It's literally why I started saying where there's smoke, there's fire, because if there's one league that really leads you to where it's going, it's the NFL. So the fact that this was the second interview that the Raiders asked for, that piques my interest. The fact that it's right after reports and everything around the Raiders being enamored and that Ben Johnson is the front guy for the job, that's the guy Tom Brady wants. Why wouldn't Tom Brady also try to bring in somebody that he's very good with and be able to show like, hey, if I want to get Ben Johnson to the Raiders, I got to show Ben that I'm going to have success. What's the best way to show success? Showing that you've already done it. So the fact that if I'm Brady and I'm painting that picture to Ben, I go, well, here's what we did in Tampa Bay, and here's what we're going to do for the Raiders. And we've already were able to show you that we're able to take down Patrick Mahomes. We already showed you that we are able to win a Super Bowl. And I get it. It's different when Tom Brady is the quarterback. But I think it's the fact that they are trying to build that type of thing, and the fact that they were already able to do it. Then you add Ben Johnson into the mix. It makes it really, really interesting. And then the last reason is this, and this one's going to take me a little bit longer. Spytek fits what Jed Hughes is looking for a GM. And if you're like, Mitch, why does Jed Hughes matter? You need to look up who Jed Hughes is. The Raiders hired him This was a video that I did last week. It's got almost 100,000 views on it. It might be the #1 video that I've ever done here on the Raiders Report that's not a live show. But Spytek has shown that he has turned into a top GM candidate. And when you see a lot of the things that Jed Hughes talks about, I'll kind of break it down here in a little bit. But the fact that he was built in a Buccaneers organization, that shows a lot. And the fact that Spytek would be a first-year GM, all of those reasons fit Jed Hughes' GM criteria, and there's a reason why Tom Brady ended up hiring him. There's a reason why Mark Davis hired him, because they want to find somebody that thinks alike as them. And John Spytek fits all of Jed Hughes' things he's looking for. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to roll through some quotes, and I talked about these quotes last week, but here are things that Jed Hughes looks for when he's looking for a head coach and a GM, because he is hired often by a bunch of NFL, NBA, MLB organizations to find the right head coach and GM. It varies depending on the assignment, but initially, it is to gain alignment on what the organization is looking for. And then, once you gain the alignment, then you begin to look for potential candidates who would fit. Then, depending on if you are in the NFL and if you have rules as to when you can interview people, you have to seek permission. You begin the interviewing and assessment phase. So to me, I look at that and I go, he's already shown that he has the alignment with Tom Brady. They've already shown you that they can win together, and Hughes believes GMs are made, not born. So the fact that Spytek has been on this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team since 2016, and he's been learning, he's been getting better. He wasn't just made into a GM, but he learned how to be a GM. And one of the things that GM's got to do is you got to be aggressive. You know, it's pretty aggressive going out and taking Tom Brady from the New England Patriots, taking Tom Brady away from Bill Belichick, and recruiting him to you down at Tampa Bay, a team that not a lot of people thought that that's where Tom Brady was going to end up going. That's what a good GM ends up doing. Let's keep it rolling here on these Jed Hughes quotes. We looked at teams that have won championships in major professional sports leagues in the last 5 years, and almost all of them have done it with a first-time GM, which is pretty incredible. And I agree. I also think that it is pretty incredible. But I also say this, John Spytek would be a first-time general manager, and he also comes with 2 years of assistant general manager experience under Jason Licht, who is regarded as one of the best GMs in the National Football League. I also think first-time GMs work because you get to build it your way. And building it your way, I know it's not Burger King here, but Spytek and Ben Johnson, y'all can have it your way. Keep it going here with Hughes. The other thing is stability. A word that Max Crosby used on his podcast the other day, and he said his word for 2025 is stability. Look what has happened with the Mets. This quote is from back in 2016, by the way. The Mets hired Sandy Alderson. He hired the coach Fred Wilpon, has supported him, and they have only been able to build a team that is now competitive. You had alignment. You had stability. People bought into the philosophy, and Sandy is one of the truly great leaders as it relates to collaboration and bringing people into meetings and having lunch bucket kind of meetings. Most organizations are not built on developing people within their organizations. They are built to try to win immediately. And when you go back and hear that, that's exactly what Mark Davis and the Raiders have tried to do. They haven't tried to build from within. They tried to win quickly, and they've tried to put a Band-Aid over an open wound. For Spytek, he's been with Tampa since 2016. The Bucs have won the 5th most playoff games since 2016, and Max Crosby talks about stability. Everything Spytek has done and everything that a guy like Jed Hughes believes in finding the next GM, it aligns so perfectly with John Spytek. So once I got done and I found all the information of why Spytek aligns with Jed Hughes and his relationship with Tom Brady and the fact that Mark Davis already gave him the check in terms of this is a guy I would be interested in way before Brady. For all of those reasons is why I can confidently look you in the eyes and I would go this. I am a believer that the next general manager for the Las Vegas Raiders is going to be John Spytek because of his relationship with Tom Brady, because of everything aligning with Jed Hughes, and because Mark Davis said yes before. I think it's going to be John Spytek. I just hope it's also with Ben Johnson.